everyone. Welcome to At Home with Sally. I'm Sally Clarkson, and I have the biggest privilege in the world to be with so many friends from all over the world who join me every week to listen to my stories, inspiration, biblical encouragement, and I am just so glad that you're here today. Thanks so much for joining me. Hello, my friends. How are you? I'm talking to you today on a Sunday afternoon. It's absolutely beautiful outside. A lot of our trees are absolutely bright gold, and I'm just so grateful for this time of year. I'm itching to get outside and walk. I can walk a little bit on my crutches, but I am enjoying looking out my beautiful porch window where I can see my aspens, I can see trees down the street, and I'm very grateful for this time of year. How are you? I know that if you're like our family, we have a drama llama that lives in our house, and we just can't seem to go very long without creating some sort of drama, some sort of issues, something to talk about. Anyway, I think that one of the things that all of you who have older adult children know is that life never settles. And if you are close to your children, which thank the Lord, that's a gift, there's never a dull moment, and there's lots of things to be done and conversations to be had. And so that's what my life has been like this week. And so I'm coming to you today with something I was reading about the other day. As it happens, I have been having these great conversations with my girls, especially because I was thinking about reading you something from my daughter Joy's Patreon. She has a site where people have helped her over the years through getting through school, but also she does the most amazing things. She does book clubs and art and music and life and quotations and a podcast. And so people have loved that. And I had awakened one morning and I was reading her most recent Patreon. And then I went to Sarah, my oldest daughter. Sarah is my daughter who has 3 children, 3 and under, in 3 years, and she's living in near Chichester in the UK, married to her wonderful husband Thomas. And I read something wonderful that she wrote, and so I'm going to read you what Sarah wrote. I'm going to save Joy's for another day for many reasons, but I was struck by how much my daughters and I have turned out to be alike. We have different personalities. Obviously, I'm much older than them, but I've just love peeking into their heart and their soul, and seeing what comes out. And as I've said many times before, whatever you store in your heart, whatever is going to come out, whatever you water is going to grow. Same concept. And I think that a lot of times people have mused that perhaps our family has had a pretty easy life because in many ways we are definitely blessed, and we are all always in the process of working hard, and some of the things that we do flourish. But what I was really realizing, especially as I just launched Help I'm Drowning. Thank you so much for all the letters. It's really funny. I didn't expect this, but a lot of people have written me and said they think it's their favorite book that I've written. And I think it's because maybe misery loves company, in the sense that if we feel like other people have borne the sadnesses or the difficulties or some of the injustices or even the storms of life, as we have, we feel close to them because we feel understood. And in this isolationist time where we don't have as much independent time with friends, we don't have lots of regulars sitting on the front porch talking, cherishing hours at a time together. And so I think many times in the busyness of life and the isolation from our neighbors and from friends, we don't have the opportunity as much to share, to take the time to share these long stories of difficulty or of pain from our own lives. And so I just thank you for all the letters that I've been getting, and for many of you who have shared your burdens with me. And I really appreciate that. And I know that a lot of women are starting Bible studies this fall together with Help I'm Drowning. And I think that's really wonderful because you'll be able to bear one another's burdens. And so anyway, I don't want to get off on that, but thank you for your letters. And also, I am so grateful that you all have been spoiling me. I've never had surgery before. And the thing that is different about this for me is that I've had to be patient with babies to get out of diapers, or with teenagers to grow up, to get beyond the hormones or whatever. But I've never had to be patient for me. I've never had to just sit and say, okay, heal right now, leg. I'm waiting on you. And so it's been an interesting time for me, my life. I do get tickled because I get lots of letters, and I want to thank you, first of all, for the cards. I've received some really very thoughtful gifts. I've received meals. I've received so many ways that you have made me feel loved. Thank you so much. It really has been a light to my day. And your notes and your letters. I just want to apologize. My mother was a great believer in thank you notes. And I'm out of control. I think between the pain meds, having Joy come home, having other people visiting, having to do the therapy, and I don't know, all the other things, I am not up to doing the same kinds of things. And so forgive me if you don't get a thank you note from me, because I am the most grateful person in the world. I told Joy, boy, I really feel loved. And also, I'm spending as much time with my wonderful Joy as I can, because she's just here for a little while. But anyway, as I was reading Sarah's article that I'm going to read to you, I thought, I'm glad that both of my girls, and it was from spending lots and lots of time together. It was from talking. It was from sharing my heart. It was from trying to model to them a heart that said, I will take the whipped cream off of everything that I can in life. I will see the beauty. I will see the ways that God has kissed me every single day, because it will give me more pleasure in life. The way, how you're always trying to help your children have the right attitude? Well, we have to practice it first. And the way to an attitude that provides you with strength and courage and joy is to cultivate the eyes that see the beauty that there is. So let me read the article, and then I will comment on some of the things that I've been thinking about as I've been praying for people, because we're all still going through a lot of upheaval, aren't we? From COVID to mask issues to finances to difficulties in and out of our worlds. And so this whole theme of learning how to move in the direction of joy. As I started my first blog, I take joy. I'm going to take joy if it kills me. And what I meant was I'm going to try to dance through life, because I don't want to live as a victim. That was a number of years ago that I wrote that those things down. But anyway, let me just read a little bit to you, and then I'll comment on it. And I would love to hear some of what you all think. But first of all, I'm going to kind of add to what Sarah said, because it's something that Clay and I have been doing. I am a bread maker from way back. I learned how to make bread when I was in Austria, because I lived, one of our first apartments where Clay and I lived, and we lived in a walk-up apartment. We were on the third floor, and I could go around the corner past the open air market, which was wonderful to be able to get fresh fruit and vegetables, to the health food store. And the health food store had wheat berries. For those of you who aren't bread makers, your bread doesn't come soft and wheat doesn't come soft. It comes from wheat berries. And there's lots of things to know about wheat berries, from winter red to golden wheat and so on and so forth. So I learned there that the health food store would grind my wheat for me as I needed it. So I would go down and get about a half a kilo, about a little bit over a pound of wheat every week. And I started practicing learning how to make 4 to 6 loaves of bread at a time. Eventually, I would make, onion herb bread for special soups. I would make cinnamon bread. I would make bear claws. I would make cinnamon rolls. I learned how to do a lot of things with the whole grain flours. And so I decided this summer, because sometimes you get tired of thinking of what to eat, that every single Wednesday night, while Clay and I were home until I had my surgery, now I'm starting back again, I grind my fresh wheat berries. And then I whip up a very simple old pancake recipe. Clay loves turkey bacon. He's kind of one of these healthy, low-fat, watches certain things in his diet sort of person. So I comply with his regulations, with his preferences. And so I make my pancakes, and I give him either blueberry pancakes, I put fresh blueberries in them, or for myself, I put blueberries and, other things too. We've grated up apples in the pancakes before. But I also, besides the fruit, I chop up either buttered, salted, roasted walnuts or buttered, salted, roasted pecans. I keep these around the house. I keep little bowls of pecans or salted almonds or walnuts around the house, just little munchy things that are actually good for you. And they tell me that walnuts are really good for continuing to keep your brain together. But anyway, I'm making a short story very long. Are you enjoying it? Anyway, so we would always light our little fireplace. It's always cool in the evenings, at least most days in Colorado, the mountains where we live. So we would put in our little fireplace, and I would get out my real dark maple syrup, and I would put it all over my pancakes. And then we would eat it. And we decided that it couldn't be better, that some things are actually as good as you think they are. I mean, these are the best pancakes in the world, and everybody who comes to our house just loves them. And I raised my kids on them. And if I ever wanted to bribe my children and say something profoundly important to them, I would either do my own homemade bread as French toast with buttered pecan and maple syrup, or chocolate chips on a really special day, or I would make these pancakes. But for a few moments, Clay and I would revel in this. Oh, wasn't that good? Oh, yes. Oh, I could eat 20 of those. Oh, I know I could too. So anyway, there are actually in this world where it feels like life is dark and things are going awry, there are actually some things that are as good as you hoped they would be. And so as I look at Sarah's life right now, and I was supposed to be there for her 3 babies, as you heard in the past podcasts, and I was going to help take care of her. And she has had a quite challenging year. And so has Thomas. They have together, because Thomas had his appendicitis. He's had all sorts of different things happening to him. And on many levels, they have had a hard time. But when I read Sarah's article, I thought, I'm just so proud of her, because she is straining toward the beautiful. She is choosing. And I know she has really hard days and really lonely days, just as you have, and some mysterious days where she thinks, why in the world is this child crying right now? We all have those days. But this is what I read in Sarah's post, and I thought, oh, kindred spirit, yes, I'm so thankful that this is what you're writing and this is what you're saying. And she starts out by saying, some things are just as good as you hope they will be. This is Sarah. I walked through an English village near our home yesterday, delighted by the medieval houses and the delicate opulence of the late summer gardens. You know, the UK is known for their gardens. England is known for these incredible gardens. They're so beautiful. Sarah says we had tea and cake in a 16th century cottage and picked blackberries from the hedge as we walked to a Saxon church whose silence is so rich with ancient hush, I almost cried upon entering it. It was so beautiful. I love these idyllic moments. I have lived in England a long time, but England is many things. I know its foibles. I know its failures well, but it's just as beautiful, just as steeped in story and tea and gardens as I always hoped and thought that it would be. There are many things about England that are painfully foreign, and I live in the suburbs, not in a village with beautiful old homes. But the good things here are every bit as good as my idealist of a dreamy-eyed self imagined they would be, because I have decided to look for the things that are as good as they can be. Things are good sometimes, you know. I was thinking as I walked yesterday that there's a jaded spirit abroad in our age that wants to belittle ideals, that meets excitement or innocence or exuberant dreams with reductive weariness and cynicism. Nothing is really as good as you think, it says. There's always a catch. You can't expect to have your hopes met in a world like this. Don't be naive, whispers that knowing dark voice. But you know what? Marriage, for me, is just as good as I hoped it would be. So was getting to study at Oxford. So was having sweet babies and living with them in a little house near the Sussex Downs. The fact that these little things are imperfect and also hellishly hard at times, or disappointing or lonely, in no way reduces the real bone-deep goodness that I taste in the presence of the good things around me. We need to be able to say that things are shockingly good precisely because we are fallen people living in a broken world who are fighting to believe that redemption is possible. Flattening everything doesn't make things better. Complaining doesn't make it feel better. It steals our capacity for hope. It bankrupts our ability to imagine something beyond the brokenness. We need to yearn and to mourn. We need to dream wildly and find that some dreams really do come true. We need to taste the goodness that began us and the grace that aids us and the kindness that draws us on toward the healing of all things, because that really will be better than we ever could have hoped for. And I read this beautiful piece that Sarah wrote, and of course it brought tears to my eyes because I thought, Sarah is going to make it. She is going to make it through these difficult times because she is holding fast. She is standing firm to believe in goodness, to see goodness, to cherish each little childish handhold, each little pat on her little chest when the kids snuggle close to her. She is going to cherish the good parts of marriage because she has decided that she wants to be the person who sees the good and the beautiful and the true in a world that is looking dark to many people. And so I just wanted to read that to you today. I've realized over and over again, and I've talked about this so many times on my podcast, but it was so beautifully told in this writing that Sarah had, that we have the agency, we have our brain, we can feed our brain and teach our brain to say, this is the day the Lord has made. God who is good, God who has created daisies and red roses and meadows and flowers and beautiful fall leaves and pumpkin to have pumpkin muffins with. God is good. And this is the day the Lord has made, that he has made for me. I will rejoice. I will be glad in it. And I will thrill to experience life at its best, even in the mundane and the sweet and the good moments. And so, my friends, I hope that that encouraged you. And the last thing I wanted to share is that Joy wrote a similar set of thoughts last week as she was pondering some new things going on in her world, some new changes. And I thought one of the best gifts that we can help our children learn and help train them in is to open their eyes, to count their blessings, to see the goodness. There are times for lament, yes, there are, but there are times to develop this habit, this strength, this force of believing and seeing the goodness that surrounds us in the world. And I think that one of the ways that I used to teach the girls this is I would, and I still do it from time to time, on occasion, I will think of 2 or 3 or 4 friends, or maybe somebody I've just met, and I'll write a short note and say, these are the things that I see in you that are so amazing and good. I love your thoughtfulness. I love the way that you work hard. I love the way that you listen to me, that you pray for me, that you are kind to me. I love that you're a good cook. I love that you're a loyal friend. Whatever it is, I take the opportunity, and I took the opportunity with my girls to write them notes, to tell them the beautiful things I see in their lives, to tell my friends, to tell missionaries or neighbors, to say, how can I leave the fragrance of God's love every day, all the time? How can I live it as a habit so that my children learn to be overcomers? How can I invest so that my God will know that I am grateful for all the ways and all the times he has provided us with beauty? And in those memories of what he has done, I am much more likely to hope in the future that God will continue to battle against the darkness and bring light, and to redeem, to buy back the world, to become the beautiful and eternal place that he created to begin with. So, my friends, let me pray for you, but I hope that in your life, as you choose to see the good, that your heart will swell and move in the direction of hope. And that's really what will keep us from going under, what will keep us from those moments of feeling like we're drowning. If we can develop the eyes, almost like secret, mysterious eyes, to open them and see in our world, there is light. Jesus is the light. He is the way. He is the good shepherd. He is the compassionate Father, and he is with us now. Dear Heavenly Father, there is such a balance between the tension of the difficulty that we experience, the hard times of being mamas, of being wives, of being friends. And yet, Lord, there is a beauty in the broken people that I love, and they see the beauty in me. There is a context in which they are carrying burdens, but there is the handprint of your creation, of their eyes, their personality, their heart, their goodness. Help us to be those, Lord, who see things as good as we hoped they would be, to see the institution of family and home as something that is a gift, to see that even in some of the burdens, the burden of grinding wheat, making messes, rubbing and pushing and pulling the dough, is a worthwhile venture because the goodness of the bread that I learned to make will taste wonderful. Help us, Lord, to live and to revel in your goodness and your beauty today. Bless my precious friends. Give them eyes to see and give them friends to share goodness with them. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. All right, my friends. Well, I will be back as much as I possibly can. And thank you again for your prayers, for your well wishes, for your sentimental, wonderful, thoughtful gifts of love and encouragement to me. I'm taking it all in. And I just hope that some of what we give back to you will refresh your heart because you have been so diligent to refresh mine. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll be back in the next couple of days. Bye-bye. I hope you've enjoyed our time together today and that you'll join me next week. Be sure to look for more inspiration on my blog at sallyclarkson.com. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.